Yeah, a property manager could sometimes make or break the operation because if you're buying older homes and you misjudge your underwriting, the maintenance costs of the property, which is an issue we've had in Georgia. I've learned the hard way that properly underwriting your maintenance is crucial, and you sometimes have to be more conservative, and other times you have to tip to the other side of the spectrum depending on the age of your home, the age of your mechanicals. You
Yeah.
have an analytical mindset on property. You have to understand property, not just on spreadsheets.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Boris Portnov, is an active investor in New Jersey and Georgia and a licensed realtor in New Jersey as well. He's also scaling a property management company. Boris, thanks for taking the time today.
Yeah, I mean, the pleasure is mine. Thanks. It's an honor to be on a member of the show today.
Now, when we talk about being an investor in New Jersey, I'm actually from New Jersey. We were talking about this before hopping on the show. New Jersey is one of these places where you got a little higher price points. And also, too, I would say while there is an investor community, it's not like the Sun Belt states. So it's a little bit of a different, avatar of someone who is an investor. How did you get started investing in New Jersey?
Yeah, welcome to snowy Jersey, where the price points is like a high barrier to entry because of the price points, and there isn't really an active investor community. If there is, you have to seek them out. There are RIAs, but it's definitely sometimes it's definitely lonely investing in Jersey. But the investment bug hit me since I was a kid when I started managing my mom's two-family home and just fixing things around the home. And back in the day, there was HGTV, and yeah, that's how I got hit by the investment bug.
Now, you mentioned before hopping on here, you were, investor first mindset before becoming a licensed agent. I had the same approach from wholesale to becoming a licensed agent. And, for me, I think a lot of people, I viewed it as a way where I could both, not have to outsource, writing offers and that type of thing, and also gain MLS access. So that was the mentality that I had. What was your, impetus for deciding to get licensed?
Yeah, I mean, I had bought a couple places, and then I saw their commission checks, and I was like, I could definitely do that. If I can't beat them, why not join them? But it wasn't only about writing commission checks. It was about, having insider access to the pocket listings, being the person on the ground and being networking with fellow realtors. And I was able to leverage my license because, for instance, I could come to a listing agent and you're like, I really want this deal. Make sure this deal goes to me. I'm speaking to the listing agent rather than speaking to my buyer's agent, who in turn speaks to the listing agent. I'm direct access. I'm like, I could offer them kind of unique things such as, hey, I'll ensure that you double end the commission, make sure the deal goes to me, or other things that help me to, scale my inventory, my
Now, when we
acquisitions.
talk specifically about, investing in Jersey, are there certain markets that you are active in, or that you are bullish on? Or if, let's say, for someone who was looking at getting into, single family investing in New Jersey, that you would say, hey, keep an eye out on this area.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors, working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Oh, I mean, I'm definitely bullish in my neighborhood. I'm a Bergen County, New Jersey investor, and I'm definitely bullish on my neighborhoods because my neighborhoods are currently actively being developed. I mean, they're knocking down anything that's like older banks. Banks were struggling around COVID time. All these banks are going out of business. Anything that's like land that's not in use is being sought after. It's being actively developed, and all the rental comps are increasing. And there's a lot of people since post-COVID that are fleeing the cities. They're coming into suburbs. They want more land. They want an extra space for remote work. They want an extra bedroom. They want to be in a home as opposed to an apartment. The rents are increasing in my neighborhood. And as a result, even the older inventory, the inventory that's built in the 50s and the 60s are older homes. Even, those renovated apartments are also appreciating in line with the new developments. So I'm bullish on where I'm at right now. It's a high barrier to entry, but the rents are rising. The ROI is there.
Now, I also know that, and because we were talking before the show, also active in Georgia, right? And so, being active in Georgia is a different area, and you're active, in an area that's you mentioned 2 hours outside of Atlanta, right? So,
It's about
to our audience, where are you investing in Georgia, and how did you get started down there?
well, how I got started is I'm in Augusta, where they have the Augusta Nationals, the golf tournament annually, and we had been attracted to that neighborhood because there was a big workforce there. There's a big and large employer there. There was several different things that were bullish on, like the community was incentivizing developments. We toured the neighborhood and we saw a lot of older homes being fixed up. We saw the romance in Old Town Augusta being redeveloped. It's a really kind of cool place, a very throwback retro neighborhood that they're bringing back. And that's what kind of intrigued us in the neighborhood. And the reason that I even started investing in Georgia was because I was a sole operator for many years, and I wanted to put my hat and throw my hat into partnership. And so I did a few JVs with a few partners, and ever since then we've done a couple JVs with a couple partners. I've had one partner that was the repeating factor, the repeating denominator in several JVs I've done, where it's been me and him, and then we brought in a couple other people. We would find an acquisition, and then we would then solicit investor money. And he's really good at finding investors. I'm really good at underwriting deals. We leverage each other's strengths to build JVs, and that's how I got into Georgia. Was basically throwing my hat into partnership and finding the partners, then looking for the asset class,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what
Look, I
happened.
mean, anytime that there's a successful partnership, it does tend to pour rocket fuel onto a real estate operation. On the flip side, a tricky or difficult partnership, a challenge partnership can stall everything. So, it is a great thing when it works, right? Now, I also know that you're active in the property management space as well. And we were talking beforehand, you're scaling in that space. Did this come out of, a desire to manage your own properties and realizing that, hey, there's a niche here outside of what I'm doing with my own investments?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, the property management is like it's a real labor of love for me. I have a huge desire to scale my property management, just because I'm not your typical realtor investor. I'm really hands on. Like a lot of individuals are like, okay, they're spreadsheet warriors, or they're or they're good at acquisitions, or they're good at speaking to people. They have social skills. I'm good with all aspects of managed property maintenance. When people are like, "Oh, toilets and tenants," like, for me, that's like, yeah, that sounds amazing. Sign me up. So
Yeah,
I'm all about that. I was on the phone this morning. They changed the door when you haven't gone to the bottom line, to the bottom of where the water's infiltrating from. That's not the way to approach the repair. So even though we're hundreds of miles away, I'm still actively managing and trying to be efficient in my management. And that's why I want to become a property manager, is because there's a lot of loss of efficiencies in management. Um, there's
100%. 100%.
Yeah, because the landlords are being taken advantage of by the managers. They're charging high fees, and then they're on top of high fees, and they're adding in all these different a la carte options that are just costing the owners a ton of money, and they're not really effectively managing it because they could be throwing dollars at the problem as opposed to really analyzing the problem and coming up with the most efficient, effective. I'm a manager for a building in Bogota around the corner from me. They had rotten countertops due to the sinks being shallow and round, and the water's pouring out. Years after years is running out. And I said, we don't have to change the countertops. We could just cut the rod out, put in new sinks that drop in the same size. We would cut it out. New sink that fit into the existing cabinet, cut out the rot. And this is like 9 units. It was going to save them about $1,000 a unit. So, like, just approaching it at a mindset that could find efficiency and savings to people. I want to act as a consultant rather than just your run of the mill manager.
One of the things that people typically have a difficult time with when it comes to property management is that individual not having or that company not thinking like an investor, right? And so they're thinking like, well, I'm going to get this check one way or the other, right? And so being that you have an investor first mindset, I can imagine that that gives a lot of credence when you're having these conversations with investors. And then also, like you mentioned, you're taking as much a consultative approach as you are strictly management.
Yeah, I appreciate you recognizing that. I mean, that's important to me, to treat the property as if it were my own, and every manager like my partner, every owner every client like my partner. So
For
I
sure.
appreciate
And
you
one of
recognize that.
the things that I would like to mention, pivoting a bit here, is that, wherever people are doing business, one of the things that becomes challenging is as they're scaling, they have to find a trusted partner, their boots on the ground, their eyes and ears, right? And you would like to be able to say, okay, we've got property management in place, we're good to go. But in many cases, especially when there's an acquisition and when, a new investor takes over, one of the first things they look at as like a potential bottleneck is the property management. And they look at, how is this performing? Do we need to replace? Do we need to like partner with these people and tighten things up? So having that investing first mindset, I would imagine, assuages a lot of those concerns because you're already kind of tip of the spear when it comes to identifying those issues. Again, rather than just looking at it like, okay, we're here to make sure that we're collecting rents and that's the end of our job. Now, when we talk about the ideal number of units for someone to start looking at property management, and this is me, my 1,000-foot view outside looking in. I've heard, for folks to really have bang for their buck and for them to really consider hiring property management, they should have 50 doors that they're managing, and then it's going to pay for itself. Do you agree with that logic? Would you say it's a different number of doors, more or less? Would you say that it depends on, what that property manager is doing and the scope of work? What's your feedback on that in general?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I think every situation is unique. I don't think it's like just like 50 doors. Just I think it depends on whether you're out of state, whether you're local, whether you're handy. Someone like myself, I'm gonna try to save the individual as much money. I have clients that own one home. I have one client that he's a tenant in the building that I manage, and he's like, "Hey, are you interested in another job? I just bought my first home. It's a rental." and he's a tenant in the building that I manage. So that's kind of a funny story. And I'm constantly saving him money. He needed a new water heater, and I just rebuilt his water heater. He just got flooded. We've had a terrible winter. I've had a ton of frozen pipes and crazy winter storms and 2 feet snowfalls.
It snowed
But
yesterday, right? The 23rd?
I should show you out my window what my property looks like. We had 2 feet of snowfall yesterday. I spent 6 hours doing my home alone, and then I went to all my properties afterwards. I worked for like 30 hours straight. So
Now, oftentimes I want to touch on this, the idea of winterization. I'm a licensed realtor in Texas, and so I can tell you, and I don't think I'm being too harsh when I say this. Uh, Winterizing is not a big concern. It's kind of like if the pipes freeze, keep the water dripping. But the insulation isn't always the best, and for whatever reason, I don't know what it is. Pipes seem to burst all the time in Texas. In the New England, and if I'm including New Jersey in that area as well, I tend to see a little bit less of that. But what are some of the big issues that you see in the winter? And is it something like pipes bursting, or is it something else like an icy walkway or something along the line?
yeah, that's a great question. That's right up my alley. And I'm surprised, to be honest, you being from Texas, that you even have winter in your vocabulary. But it's funny that you asked me, you tell me that there's a lot of pipes freezing frequently in Texas, because I never was aware of that. But I guess it makes sense in their building practices, because they don't plan for that.
Right.
Over here, we plan for that. So obviously, whenever possible, try not to when you're building, whenever possible, try not to locate your pipes, your supply lines, and exterior walls. Certain neighborhoods and certain they have you have your state codes and you have your municipal codes, and sometimes your municipal codes are more restrictive than your state codes for certain good reasons. So my buddy was telling me, he lives up in upstate New York. He was telling me that where they build, you're not even allowed to locate pipes and exterior walls when you build new developments. That was news to me. I thought that was its best practice. Over there, it's required. Um, Obviously, insulation, pipe wrap, heat trace wrap. There's different things you could try to do to mitigate, but it's all about insulation ultimately. And
Yeah.
be having the
Yeah.
foresight. I renovated a few bathrooms here and there, and then when I see pipes and exterior walls, I'm like, what? We could just relocate the shower. We can move the mixing valve to the interior wall. And I've done that a bunch of times. Just to foresight. And yeah, it's all about
Yeah,
insulation.
when we talk about winterization, I think it's interesting. You mentioned, you get winters in Texas. We don't often get freezes, but when it does happen, and it seems like it's been happening quite a bit recently, pipes can burst. It really affect septic systems, which are very common throughout Texas. And then the grocery stores get raided. It's crazy. So one of the things that I actually did miss from living in New Jersey and also Massachusetts was, not having to deal with that as much, just because people were more prepared. And don't even get me started about the roads. The roads will be another issue entirely. Anyone that's from Texas and has lived through a freeze can resonate with that. We are coming up on time here, though, Boris. Any new projects that you're working on, and then as well, what's the best way for folks to get in contact with you?
Yeah, so I'm just right now I'm focused on growing my property management my influence. And I'm always looking at deals, underwriting deals. I'm not working on anything right now because every day I underwrite maybe like a half dozen deals, and it's about a numbers game. It's that one in 1,000 is the one that's going to be the deal. And so I haven't done a deal in like about 9 months. But I'm still looking actively all the time. And I'm also looking to take on new clients for property management and grow my influence in that realm. And I can be reached up at my email is B Portnov. You'll have the spelling of my name. It's just my first initial, my last name at Gmail. And my phone number is 201-637-6425. And that's how I can be reached. I'm good with texting, calling, whatever.
Thank you, Boris. Thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.